He said, I will stand at my watch and station my... that's what I wanted to hear. Station myself. Stand at my watch. Station myself. I love that expression. I will stand at my watch. Ask your neighbor. Say, neighbor, are you standing or you are sitting? That's my message this morning. No. Say, neighbor, are you standing or you are sitting? He said, I will stand upon my watch. That means it's a decision I have made. I am deliberate about it. I will stand at my watch. What do you understand by watch? Watch. W-A-T-C-H. You know, watch has different meaning. This one is watch that is in my hand. But in the regard I was speaking about this morning, we're speaking of this morning, watch. I will stand at my watch. Let somebody tell me what he or she understands by the word watch. Whether in pidgin English, correct English, in Bini. I will stand to look. Okay, thank you. I will be at thank you. I love that word. I will be at alert. That's a good one. Another person who wants to try. I will stand still. That's a good one. That's stand at attention.
I will stand on my word.
I will stand on my word. Okay, that one is good. To be conscious of your environment. That's also good. Yes. I will be observant. That's it. I will be vigilant. Look, you see. My dad, they say, are you a soldier? I will be vigilant. You see, one thing I enjoy most in teaching or in preaching is when I hear your feedback. It helps my message a lot. I will be vigilant. I will stand still. I will be observant of my environment. Abi? Which other one again? Another person give one other definition again. I will stand and look. Another person give another definition. Which one did my wife give? I will be conscious of my environment. Yes. I will be at alert. That's what that brother said. Thank you very much, madam. I will stay vigilant. Good. I will stand upon my watch. I will stay vigilant. I will be at alert. In other words, I will be conscious of my environment. I will not allow anything to take me unawares. For every family, there's a watchman. Follow this message closely. For every destiny, there's a watchman. For every marriage or every marital institution that succeeds, there is a watchman. For every vision that thrives and that stands the test of time, there is a watchman. There is a watchman. It means there is somebody who always staying awake to ensure that things are done rightly. It means that there's someone who is always conscious, who is always alert to ensure that nothing goes wrong. Are you following this message closely? For everything that succeeds on earth, there is always a watchman. It is either you are a watchman or somebody else is a watchman over you. I don't know how to drive this message so that you understand where I'm coming from this morning. He said, I will stand upon my watch. I will stand upon my watch. In other words, I will not lose guard. Let me use the English you are very familiar with. I not go lose guard. I I will stand upon my watch.
Yẹn do mu diare.
Have you not seen sometimes when this big bird, what they call it in English again? Is it, no, not an owl. Is it an owl? What they call awa in Benin. Hawk. Hawk. Have you not seen when the hawk is, flying down and want to pick maybe a chick? An animal. Sometimes when the mother hen is alert, the mother will fight that hawk. Have you not seen something? I mean, I see when I was growing up, I see plenty. When you go one come down like this, pick the mama go just like this. But sometimes when the mother is not at alert, before the mama say make you see, they don't pick the pikin, don't carry come out. Are you following this message? And so we are in a battlefield here on earth. If you are not fighting people, people are fighting you. If you don't have enemies, there are people who have declared you as their enemy. If your children say they don't have enemy, there are people who have declared your children as their enemy. Are you following this message closely? So if you are not a target, your children, they are a target. If your children may not be a target, your investment may be a target. So you must understand that we are in a battlefield. Life is not fair. Life is not fair. And that is why you can't just wish for things to be okay and they are okay. Many a time you have to put up a fight. You have to make deliberate effort to ensure that things are okay. Are you getting what I'm talking about now? Sometimes you may be born into a family or a home or a community where you have to struggle for everything. And you may have friends who are not born into such community. And you are asking God, why is my life like this? God, you are not fair. Why did you do me like this? But God allowed you to be there for a reason. If you survived growing up in such an environment and that issue, that situation did not kill you, it means that there was a watchman over you, knowingly or unknowingly. There was somebody who was always looking out for you, even without your consent. Are we together? Life is spiritual. And I will stand upon my word. Do you know one of the things that makes you a responsible parent is the ability to take bullet for your children? Is the willingness to go the extra mile for your children. Is the ability to protect your children, to ensure that no harm comes to them. Are we together? Why do you provide for your children? Let me ask parents this question. Why do you provide for your children? So that they don't lack. Because the moment they start lacking, they will start going outside. The moment they start lacking, you are exposing them to dangers. Because there are those that will offer them what you refuse to offer them. But trust me, because they are not the one that gave birth to them, they will never have good intentions towards them. Those things they are giving to them come with some conditions. Are we together? Life is spiritual. I will stand upon my watch. It means I will take responsibility. There are many of you here. There were people who stood for you to be the person you are today. But you are not willing to stand for anyone. Somebody say error. Somebody say error. My dad used to tell us a story. He says when they were going to war, while he was a soldier, He said most of his friends were going to different places. Some were going for protection here and there. He said the thing he did, he went to his mother. He said as he was joining the army, the mother came outside and held her breast and was praying for him with her breast. Talk to me. Talk to me. Do you know that prayer is highly spiritual? He said most of his friends, they went, many did not come back. But he came back. He's alive. Do you know that prayer could be what saved him? Men and brethren, I am asking you a question. Are you standing or you are sitting? Many parents are seated when things are going wrong with their children. Many parents are seated when things are not the way God has planned them for their children. One of the responsibilities of a parent is to ensure that your children don't lack. And when your children begins to lack, they start looking outside. And those things you refuse to give to them, whether willingly or unwillingly, they will get it outside. And that's why some people, when they are now blessed, they don't remember their parents. Because they will say, he was never there for me. She was never there for me. Even God, in the Bible, in the book of Ezekiel, chapter 22, verse 30. I'll read it quickly. And I sought for a man among them that should make up the edge and stand in the gap before me for the land, that I should not destroy it, but I found none. This was God. God needed somebody to stand in the gap because there was things were going wrong in the earth. The enemy was always using God's people against God. They were always going against God. And in one of these days, God got angry and he destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah. Because they were always making God angry. They were always going against God. And even after God had destroyed the earth, he made a covenant with Noah and said, no, this will not happen again. And he gave a seed to his covenant, which is the rainbow. He said, anytime you see this, remember, know that I remember the covenant I made with thee. And but still after the era of Noah, the people of God still continued. And it got to a point that God was fed up. He regretted that he made man. How can I create something that always makes me angry? How can I create something that is always rebellious, that is always going against my will, against my command, against my ways? And he was looking for somebody that can stand in the gap. Many a time when things are wrong, when things are not okay in the families, in the society, God is looking for somebody that can stand in the gap. God is looking for an intercessor. Who is an intercessor? An intercessor is a mediator. Do you know who mediates for us as a church, as a body, as Christians? Is Christ. Christ is the mediator between mankind and God. And that is why you and I are living in the era of grace. Because we have someone who mediates before God day and night on our behalf. Someone who asks God for mercy on our behalf on a daily basis. And that is why no matter the atrocity in the land, we are still enjoying the mercy of God. Because there is a mediator. Now let's take it back to our lives. Now let's bring it back to our life, to reality. A mediator is a reconciler. Is someone that reconciles. When there is quarrel, this one say, no, I not go agree. No, we go die here today. That person where they come, we go say, I beg. Please, let us see how we can resolve it. That person is called an intercessor. That person is called a mediator. Because a mediator mediates. Hello. Are you following the message? And so many a time, God is always looking for a mediator that will avert certain things that is to befall us, that will ensure that we are on the right track, that will ensure that when we miss our way, these people, these mediators will help us come back to our senses. And so that is one of the responsibility of parents to their children. And that is why when your son goes outside to fight, as a good parent, you come into the matter with the mind of settling the matter. You don't come into the matter and add petrol to it. There are some parents like that too. There are some parents like that. Their own are to put fire, join up. You not beat down where you for chucky eye, you for busting eye. You know, not be me born you. You go next time, make sure say you bite the ear, come on time. Now maybe your mama, nothing they happen. You're laughing. Now maybe your mama, nothing they happen. No. If now station we go, if now money we go spend down, nothing they happen. There was one woman like that in my area many years ago. That woman, she did the street before my papa street. So she is known for fighting, and her children too na troublemaker. So one day, serious gbege can happen. If pikin can't get issue with one woman pikin for our street, as in it can't lead to waiting be say injury can't day, can't result to blood. I can't forget that scenario in my life. You know, some things happen to you in life that humbles you, that teaches you. That woman, people they fear Rambo. So the pikin can't get issue with one person picking for my street. She can't come. Follow the pikin, come cross her street, come my street. Come beat this woman pikin for the woman house. Say nothing they happen. Now we they talk. You know what happened? He now resorted to mother and mother fighting. He can't graduate from Peking and Peking to mother and mother. You know what happened? The matter was, in fact, the matter led to police case. You know, they were saying now who fair go police station, they win case. Now lie you. Now who not get level? Now go say who fair get police station. When you get level, they carry you go station. You will carry them go the one way big pass. Abi? They come lead they are said to Ukida police barrack. He don't know say person when he jam get level. That one can carry the matter go stay CID. At the end of the day, when you don't spend money, spend. Police come refer the same way they go settle and say nah. Police come say make she go beg the woman. I can't forget. Police come say make she go beg the woman. Now two fighting before, but matter can't graduate. That thing can't humble that woman for that area. For many years, person where they do back. She can't cool down. She can't mellow. Will you tell me that woman was a mediator? Will you tell me that she was an intercessor? Will you tell me that she was a good mother? That could have been averted. Abi? I said that could have been averted. As parents, one of the duties we owe to our children is to be mediators to them. When your children are fighting, when there's issues between them, you come in as a father, as a mother to reconcile it. When people are threatening the life of your children, you stand and say, no, not when I'm alive. But unfortunately, many of us are failing our responsibility as parents. Mediators, intercessors, and I sought for a man that will stand in the gap. Are you aware that some quarrel would not have been necessary if there was a mediator? Talk to me this morning. Are you aware that some marriages would have still been surviving today if there was a mediator? Many marriages break over a very little quarrel.
People
wey go suppose talk put, they go say, eh, ọmọ gbọ̀nà ẹ ti wẹ̀ wẹ̀ manager láàṣọ gbá ní àyè ọmọ gbọ̀nà wẹ̀ wá zọ̀sẹ̀ náà ẹni mo zọ̀sẹ̀ náà wẹ̀ yá dé kéré ẹ̀ bá gbá sẹ́ ẹ̀. That is a family that is supposed to advise you and say, We may not know what happened, but we need to hear from him. You see, that's the mediator. We may not know why he slapped you, but we need to hear from him. We may not know what happened, but let's hear from him. We may not know why this woman insulted you, but let's hear from her. Maybe there is something that happened. Maybe there is something you, the husband, said to her. Maybe this woman has been trying to manage the situation for a while and she could not hold it anymore. And she said she doesn't want to marry again. So don't be fire brigade. Let us hear from her. But there are some families. In fact, they celebrate the return of their child. If they believe like that, I don't see some family like that. They celebrate them. They everywhere. They celebrate the return of their pikin. I beg you, say, I don't. Are you getting what I'm talking about? There are no mediators. You are either a mediator or a destroyer. There is no middle ground. There is no middle ground. You are either what? A mediator or you don't want to come. You are either a mediator or so from today you will know which one you belong to. So there are marriages that have gone into the wind because of these issues. There are businesses that have been shut down because of these issues. Have you not seen some public notice or some public announcement, maybe when they go to court and for divorce? They will not write one in English. There's one that I normally read and I will just laugh. They will say it was due to irreconcilable differences. I ask myself, is there any differences that cannot be reconciled in this life? Do you understand the English? They will say it was due to some irreconcilable differences, which means the issue could not be reconciled anymore. I said a mediator is a reconciler. So which means the issue don't pass to reconcile. Some they will say it was due to unreasonable behavior. Some marriage, if you hear why they break up, they say it was due to unreasonable behavior. Unreasonable. It has to be unreasonable so that men with reasons can bring them back together. Abi? If they were reasonable, they will not drag themselves to court. They will not drag themselves to a Kaiba meeting. They will not drag themselves to the streets. Am I communicating this morning? So you have to be unreasonable so that men with reasons can see reasons why they have to be brought together. Are we talking this morning? So are you a mediator? You are not John Were in that street. Everybody knows, say, as you be a John Were for the street, not big. Any matter where they carry come meet you, oh God, you want your poor petrol. No, John Were no here. If you hear them, you know say we are living. Are you on air? There are people anytime they talk about when I say Epania wa matana watana. Ikele rakina. Iya wa de gbe ye gbaje e mu seke no ye. Are you a mediator? Or are you a destroyer? And I sought for a man that will stand in the. God is always looking for mediators, not destroyers. He's always looking for, intercessors, reconcilers that will reconcile things, that will make sure there is peace. Because God is known for peace, righteousness, peace, and joy in the Holy Ghost. That is what we should be known for as Christians. Are you standing or you are seated? You are not acting, you are just sitting, you are watching. Can't you see that you are a destroyer? When things are going wrong and you are not saying anything to correct it, it means that you are joining to destroy that thing. Because silence is consent. When things are not going the way they ought to go and you are not making any effort to make sure that things get better, it means that you are also a contributor. It means that you are a contributor. When your children open their mouth to insult their father, and you as a mother, instead of you to call that your child and use one slap to bend the mouth, so that next time the pikin go remember, say, if I want to talk this thing, make mommy not hear am. But when your pikin dey talk out for your mind, now you are talking as my son, as my daughter. Talk to this useless man. Mommy not go talk to him. Instead of you to, there was one day something happened. I think that was, is it 3 weeks ago? I can't remember. I called my son Michael. I think there was I can't remember what happened that day, and I called him to come to my room. So when he came, he already registered in his mind saying, "Now beating one Colette." And sincerely, I didn't want to beat him. But the way I called him, he was scared. So when he came, I was not asking him, so why were you doing this? The next thing, Michael started pumping like this. I can't forget that they were like they were acting a movie. He was pumping. I said, Michael, why did you do that? He started shouting. Don't be asking me again. He was shouting. The thing clear for my eye. Blessed I drown my divorce. I dropped my phone. I said, honey, where are you? Please come to my room. Something is happening here. My wife said, no, I heard him. Because the boy was really shouting at me. My wife said, I heard him. I'm not coming. I asked him the question. I asked him the question again. He looked at me. He was still pumping like this. He shouted at me again. I started laughing. I said, oh, Quadela. Hey, Michael. Then I was still calling my wife. Because at this time, the anger don't they climb small. So I needed somebody that will carry him before I do what I don't like. I said, honey, come and see your son. No. My wife said, honey, I can't come. I heard him. So as I kept calling my wife to come, she did not come. My mother now heard in her room. Because my mama knows say I don't invest already. My mother, I now called one and I said, go and give me key. The boy started shouting again. As he was shouting, he was crying. Then my mom now entered the room. Then I got up. Then my wife now came into the room angrily. She said, so I want to make it Papa beat him. That is why I not come. When I don't say as I come, Papa they beat and go they pay me. I want to make it. That's why I not come from Palo. Mama said, no, walk on here. My wife changed down. He said, leave this boy shouting at your father. Hi! You see, only if you not beat this boy today, let me go verse for you. Hi! I was looking at the boy. Michael, me? My mom was not saying, it is fear that is making him to shout. It is fear. So that day, my mother was begging. My brother now used tie to remove him from my room. My wife said, honey, so you didn't beat that boy? Only no, I go verse for you. I said, no, my mother pleaded for him. I can't be beating when my mother is pleading for him. My wife said, only no, this thing pay me. Hey, only I go look for her, I go take beat this boy today. Is you not beat him? Are you getting me? She is the mother. She know I can beat him and injure him. She refused to come from Palo to come and carry the pikin to come to beg for him. Because she knew that this pikin don't match line. He not supposed to match this line. Because now small it they start to. Now small it they start to train up a child the way he should what? So that when he is old or can get back, he will not depart from. So as a mother, are you a mediator? Are you an intercessor? Do you see something going wrong and you fold your hand and say, oh my come when you know that child spends more time with you, the father is not always around. So which means the greater responsibility lies in you because he spends more time with you. But instead of you to correct the child, you are quiet until the child begins to misbehave. And when the father now notices it, you will say, hey, it's your fault. You are a bad mother. I say you are a bad mother if that is your attitude. Men and brethren, God is always looking for a mediator. A mediator stands for the right thing. A mediator stands for the right thing. A mediator is not biased. A mediator is not biased. A mediator stands for the truth. No matter who gets offended. Do you hear that? A mediator, an intercessor stands for the truth. No matter who gets offended. There are some people before they come to settle a matter, they go to think of the favor where they go receive from this person. And that and that we now interfere with their judgment. Are we together? But a mediator does not think like that, does not see like that. If you feel they give me the chop, say if I can't talk now, say you don't want to give me again, not give me. But I go talk the truth. I go stand for the truth. This thing not be not right. This thing not be so supposed to be. Because if you do not prune them, it will get to a stage that you can't do anything again. And at that stage, they will bring you shame. At that stage, they will bring you shame. When other children are bringing their parents honor, they will be bringing you shame. Because as you lay your bed, so you lie on. Are you a mediator? Your children are struggling. Every now and then, they call you to complain to you. And all you do is nothing. Even to pray, when you know that your prayer has effect. You see, I just gave an instance of my father just now. Said when he was joining the army, the mother prayed. Sometimes what your children need is not money from you. Sometimes what they need from you is to stand in the gap for them. Sometimes what they need for you is to intercede for them. Sometimes what they need for you is to ensure that you don't let harm come to them. Yes, they may be grown. Yes, they may have their own children, but they are still your children. As long as you live. So sometimes they desire that from you. They may not come and tell you. No, they may not tell you. Your children may never tell you what they are going through sometimes. But as a father, as a mother, always stand in the gap for them. Always make sure that as long as you are alive, the enemies will not take them unawares. And the enemies will not take you unawares. I will stand in the gap. He said, I will stand upon my watch. I will not let the enemies come in like a thief and begin to snatch my children one after the other. Have you not seen some people, they are alive, their children, they die for their eye, 1, 2, 3, 4. What are you doing? What are you doing alive? The children you gave birth to, the enemy comes and is picking them one after the other. You know it's not ordinary. And you can't do anything about it. Can't you see that you are failing your responsibility as a parent? Your duty is to guide and to guard. There are two things. Guide and what? Guard. Guide and guard.